So what's on the menu for you then?
Okay, so we're going to make, as we said before, lasagna, but the difference is we're going to use veal. So we're going to use some pancetta, some prosciutto, some veal, which is not minced, it's just chopped veal.
Yeah. Right.
I think it's much nicer chopped because you get much more texture in the sauce.
Yeah.
It's a ragu, and we're going to use, sofrito, celery, onion, carrot.
Yeah. Sofrito.
Sofrito. And then we're going to add some rosemary, so nice sort of background flavour, rosemary, white wine, and milk. So it kind of all seems very sort of creamy and sort of light, but actually...
So I'm going to get my sauce on.
You're going to make me a bechamel, okay?
Bechamel. So the recipe for the bechamel is just milk. Now, normally you'd put a little bit of onion in here, but you don't. You just put a touch of bay leaf.
Just a bit of bay leaf, yeah.
Okay.
We've got onion in the base already, so don't need any more onion.
All right. So
and then, nice.
So why veal then? Because obviously traditionally people would use beef in the UK, but I suppose is it you can use anything over in Italy?
Well, I mean, ragus tend to be veal or beef, but I think this is just it's a variation on it. It's just quite nice to have something that's slightly different. Yeah. And if you've got veal, then it's a good way of doing it. And you can get this is flank, or you can use a bit of shoulder, and it has a different flavour completely. And if you use the addition of something like pancetta, it just has a much nicer kind of richer flavour. Because all that fat from the pancetta sort of seasons the meat. Yeah. So it's really rather nice. Okay. So could you peel that carrot for me? Yeah. Thank you very much.
Great.
And then we've got some celery, carrot,
now,
and onion.
Look at this. The proportion of veg to meat is a lot less.
There's not a lot of veg in this.
Right.
The veg is just sort of start it off and get that sort of seasoning going. So we'll get some olive oil in the pan, not butter. Or we could do actually. You know what? I'll put a bit of butter. Here? I'll put half and half. Okay, just to keep you happy. Okay, so a bit of butter in there.
There you go.
And we're going to add our onion.
Got to be quick now, it's burning.
Celery. Where's the carrot? Come on.
I'm just going to slow really down.
And I'll add the rosemary to that.
There you go. All right.
So a bit of rosemary, not too much, just a bit.
Yeah.
And then we've got to add our prosciutto. So you've got prosciutto and pancetta. So two really sort of nice, slightly salty cured meats.
Yeah.
And then add those in. And that's going to soften.
Right, you want me to do the sauce for this, don't you? So we've got the butter and the flour.
That's right. So that all goes in together.
Okay.
Now I'm using a wooden spoon. Now this is a special spoon from Simon and Georgina Cook from London.
A special spoon? A
special spoon. Now I don't want to burn this label.
It's because you burnt this one earlier, didn't you?
I'm going to hold it in my hand so I don't burn it. Okay. Right. So all that lovely flavour, that rosemary and the onions and the pancetta about to go in. Yeah. So pop the pancetta in. And then we're going to add the veal. So just season the veal.
Now, it's a lot of foods in France particularly vary from region to region. The same dish. Yeah. Some use fish, some use meat. Same in Spain. Yeah. Is lasagna the same? You have different ones and different.
Well, in Italy, I mean, you have lots of different variations of baked pastas, but I think it's there will be variations, but essentially it's a meat. Baked pasta with sort of what they call bechamel.
What area would it come from?
I would say this would be sort of from Bologna.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so that's all cooking nice. So we're going to add our chopped veal.
So it's the same ragu-based
exactly
dish, that kind of stuff.
So we're going to add this. So in she goes.
Just going to cook this.
Just sort of lightly, sort of try and break it up, so it's not in a big lump.
Right, I've got my.
See the texture. It's lovely, sort of nice, sort of pieces of veal as opposed to mince.
I don't know what the thing is about veal anymore. Still people in the UK still have this thing about veal. I think it's how it used to be. It's not the same now, but it's. And if you kind of drink milk, you should eat veal, really.
Absolutely, yeah. But veal isn't very popular in the UK. I don't know why. Okay, so.
But it's the rose veal you need to look for.
It's the rose veal, yeah. I mean, in Italy, most of the meat you get, it's usually sort of 12-month-old cows, which is sort of in between a beef and a veal, and it is this sort of rose meat, and it has got, it's very sort of quite a subtle flavour.
But there are fantastic suppliers of veal out in the UK, aren't there?
No, there's some really good ones, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to add some white wine.
There you go.
So we're not kind of really getting lots of colour in this, we're just going to let it sort of stew together. Yeah. Add some tomatoes. Those in, but just use tinned ones. You could use fresh, but just use tinned ones because they've got that much sort of richness and ripe flavour.
You making this with just normal flour, aren't you? You see, Delia's got that fancy flour.
What's fancy about it?
Well, it doesn't do lumps in your white sauce, does it?
What is it? A lump-free flour.
A lump-free flour. But this one, I actually use the whisk for this. So you need the right pan, obviously, non-stick pan, really, and just keep it over the heat until you get most of it in, like that. And I use a whisk for this rather than a spoon because it takes you way, way too long.
So I just add some milk.
So why milk in there? Because I know...
Again, it's just in lighter the way the veal's quite nice with milk. It sort of quite makes it sort of fresher. You get lots of dishes where they cook with veal and milk or pork and milk. But you know, you've got that prosciutto, you've got the pancetta, you've got the celery onion, and then you've got that veal and tomato and milk. Just cook it really slowly, about an hour and a half. So just pop that in the back of the stove. And we've got one that's been made already.
Yeah. I'll move that for you. There you go.
Thank you very much.
Lift off the lid.
That's what it should look like. So you end up with this kind of nice, chunky...
Ow, that's hot.
It is very hot.
Thank you very much for that.
Chunky texture. And I'm going to get this dish. Right. You always use a cloth. Always use a cloth.
Thanks very much. I've got no feel in my hands. I can't feel this sauce.
OK, so that's got this sort of nice texture of... you can see that the sort of meat's all sort of chunky. Yeah. Nice and juicy. It's not kind of too juicy. It's just sort of...
Looks like the end of my finger.
Let's see your blister.
No, it's fine.
Oh, OK. So what we're going to do is we've got our pasta. So we've got the dish. We're going to add some olive oil to this, just so it makes it non-stick. Yeah. And give it a good rub all on either sides. And we've got our pasta. Now, it's just some fresh pasta. This is so much nicer using fresh pasta as opposed to those dried packets you get. Makes a massive difference. So just cut these sheets in half.
Go in there. Use that. And you want cheese gone in there as well?
Cheese in there as well. So that's a layer of the pasta.
Yeah.
And then
now, often when you're doing this, people would brown the meat off beforehand. None of that.
You don't need to, because the thing is that you can get so much flavour from all the ingredients in there. You know, you don't need to brown all the meat. You just need to let it all sort of cook nice and slowly on the stove. How's that? Looks good.
I'm going as fast as I can.
Come on, get on with it.
Where's the ketchup?
What's what?
Just put the ketchup in.
Ketchup?
Yeah.
You put ketchup in it,
do you?
Why not? Who's going to know?
Okay.
There you go. Right.
So some more layers of pasta. So.
Right, there's egg yolk.
Look at that.
Right.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Good man, you're knackered.
Don't forget all today's studio recipes, including this one from Theo, on our website. Go to bbc.co.uk/Saturday Kitchen. You can find dishes from our previous shows at bbc.co.uk/recipes. I never knew lasagna was so hard work.
Yeah.
Right.
So, bechamel, and just basically layer it up.
So these fresh pasta sheets you can buy like that?
You can buy like that. It's even easier, just as easy to make it. And these ones actually haven't even blanched, but normally you should just give them a quick blanch in 1 minute in boiling salted water.
And what about those pasta sheets if people are going to use them?
They're fine, they're fine.
Cook them beforehand?
Yeah, cook them beforehand. But the thing about them is, you know, the fresh pasta's got this egg yolk in it, so it's got a much richer taste. So I would always use fresh pasta.
It's actually got a whole egg. I've just put the whole egg in.
You put the whole egg in this, OK.
It doesn't matter. Nobody was watching. But normally with an egg yolk in it, yeah?
And then pop that again, one more layer. And the great thing about this is you can make it the day before, and you pop it in the fridge, and then invite your friends around, whack it in the oven, and it is a brilliant, brilliant family
Now, like Henry,
dish.
you're doing a lot of these sort of festivals around the country. Is it that sort of you London folk like to get out in the country?
No, I'm not out in the country. I'm actually in London. I'm doing a day for Action Against Hunger at Taste of London, and I'm doing some demonstrations at Jamie's big festival, Clapham Common, which is in...
Well, you call that the country, don't you, Clapham Common?
Yeah, it is, yeah. It's in the country. OK, it's green. You know,
yeah, it's green. Yeah, go then.
OK, and then that's the top. Last layer of pasta. And then finish with the bechamel on top. More cheese on top. Plenty of it. Look at that.
It's like Blue Peter.
You can see it.
I might need that spatula, actually.
Yeah.
That's it, that spatula.
There you go.
Thank you. Get all those bits out. And then just make sure it's all covered. Make sure the pasta's all covered. Now, the best bit about the lasagna is the crispy bits on the side. So leave little bits hanging over.
Yeah.
And then you're just going to finish that off with some fresh parmesan.
In the oven.
And then we're going to pop that in the oven.
For 5 minutes.
And I shall open the oven. How long does this go in for?
This goes in for about 45 to an hour, depending how thick your dish is.
Check that out.
And then the nice thing about this is there's lots and lots of pasta. The problem with a lot of these lasagnas is too much minced meat as opposed to the actual pasta. So what you want to do, it should be really sort of puffed up. And don't serve salad with it. Just serve it as it is. Have the salad to start. And then pop a nice big portion like that. That's a starter.
Obviously.
OK.
This is where I come from.
I know it is. And then a bit of parmesan, a bit of black pepper, and there is my veal lasagna.
Now it's perfect. There you you go. It's a little bit of Yorkshire, you see.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
There you go. Right, you get to dive into this.
Oh, God. That's nice.
Dive
Okay.
in. Tell us what you think of that one.
Okay.
Fresh
This
lasagna.
is the dietetic one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, once you made it, could you put it in the fridge and then cook it?